Let's cook it. The Rock says, The Rock says, The Rock says, The Rock.
They talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith.
Hello and welcome to the AEW Wrestling Talk Show with Liz Jones and
John Smith as we bring you our pre-show to AEW's Full Gear, which is due to take place at the time of this recording this Saturday on the 7th of November in Jacksonville, Florida at Daly's Palace.
Just like
COVID-19.
Just like every other AEW show ever since February.
COVID-19.
So we have 9 matches scheduled.
One of which taking place on the pre-show.
/ buy-in. Remember the company we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
As Serena Deep, also known for a small spell of a company that must not be named,
Yes.
defends her newly won NWA Women's Championship
Against Allison Kay.
I don't think they're going to have the championship change hands on AEW television, otherwise they probably would have done it before. And they're not going to have the championship change hands when she's just won with him.
No, so I think Serena Deeb is going to retain her NWA World Women's Championship.
Now, to the main card,
yes.
we have a elimination AEW World Championship tournament final to decide who will be next in line for the AEW World Championship. Now, this tournament has not had its best.
The final match is between Hangman Page. Yes, go on.
This tournament has not had its best of starts, shall we say, because things had to be switched around for injury reasons and
COVID-19 reasons.
But this tournament started on the 21st of October episode of Dynamite with
the Lucha Brothers taking each other on one-on-one. Penta Zero M and Ray Phoenix.
But Penta was, well, technically Ray Phoenix won this match. However, due to injury, when the time came for the semi-final match, Penta was placed back into it.
Yes, where he would essentially be eliminated.
The other quarterfinal match on this side of the bracket was supposed to be Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela.
The bad boy, Joey Janela, but due to Joey Janela's exposure to COVID-19, it was replaced by Sonny Kiss.
And would ultimately lose, which led to a semi-final match between Penta and Kenny Omega on the October 28th episode of Dynamite, which Kenny Omega would win and advance to the finals at Full Gear.
So let's talk you through Hangman Adam Page's path to the final.
Hangman Adam Page would go through Colt Cabana in the first round.
Then in the semi-finals on the 28th, he would beat.
After Wardlow defeated Jungle Boy, those two would square off in the semi-finals match, and in the predictable outcome, it was Adam Page who picked up the win over Wardlow to become the other person in this match, and this match has been building since Adam Page and Kenny Omega would lose the tag team titles to a certain team called
FTR.
Also known as Revival.
That got me right. So who do we see walking out as the number one contender to the AEW World title?
Well, in a way, it kind of depends who actually walks out as AEW champion.
True. Speaking of champions...
Wait. Yes, our next match is for the AEW TNT Championship.
As Cody puts his title on the line against Darby Allin.
Now, let's go back a bit here.
Okay.
On the August 22nd, I think it was. On the August 22nd episode of Dynamite, Cody would lose the TNT Championship to Mr. Brody Lee after being absolutely demolished.
Yes.
Then he would spend about a month off of TV.
Something like that.
Then returned with a new hairstyle on the September 23rd episode of Dynamite, attacking Brody Lee and members of the Dark Order. Then on October 7th, Brody Lee and Cody would collide in a dog collar match, in which Cody would regain the TNT Championship.
Yes, and ever since then, Cody has been on the search to find a good opponent, and he may have found one in Darby Allin.
Yes, but remember, these two have squared off in the TNT Championship match before.
They have, but not for a while since then.
Now we go back to another championship match.
Yes.
As FTR,
otherwise known as a copyrighted name,
defend the AEW Tag Team Championships against the Young Bucks of Matt and Nick Jackson. However, similar to a situation of Cody when he challenged Chris Jericho close to a year ago for the AEW Championship, the stipulation here is that if the Young Bucks lose, they will never be able to challenge for the AEW Tag Team Championships again.
FTR also have a bit of a handicap in their corner as well, as their manager, as the farmer, their manager Tully Blanchard will be banned from ringside.
Sticking with the theme of championships, the TNT, TNT, we've already done that.
The AEW World Championship.
Yeah, the World Championship will be on the line in a story that dates back all the way to All Out. As we go,
John
as
Foxman defends his world title against Eddie Kingston.
so Eddie Kingston was a member of the Casino Battle Royal at All Out.
Yes.
However, technically, despite Lance Archer winning the match, Eddie Kingston was never technically eliminated as he went under the bottom rope, not over the top. And they began a statement that he deserved the AEW Championship match, which he got on the September 23rd episode of Dynamite against Mr. Moxley.
Again, the first name copyrighted, the second name, you're okay.
Then that match was won by Jon Moxley by a technical knockout.
TKO.
Due to Kingston passing out rather than submitting. Where have we seen that before? Oh yes, that's right. Clash of Champions.
Yeah, copyright.
And in a similar situation to what happened in that company, this time the match will be an I Quit match.
Yes. And it will also be 1 year to the day since Moxley took on Kenny Omega in a very brutal matchup that was not an I Quit. I dread to think how brutal this match is going to be.
Yes.
Probably even brutaler than the last time.
Yes, and that goes back to the question as to who wins the tournament final. People won't complain.
Yes.
People won't complain to see Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley again.
No, they won't.
However, Adam Page, who was involved in the final to crown the first ever AEW champion, has also got a shout there. Whoever wins that match between Omega and Page, I think will face Moxley. I don't see him losing the title to Kingston.
No, but speaking of, you thought that rivalry was personal, you've got nothing on this next match.
So we go to some Elite deletion.
As Matt Hardy takes on Inner Circle member Sammy Guevara.
Yes, and let's not go back to what has happened between these two since Matt Hardy came into AEW.
Yes.
The first of all goes back to All Out as well with the Broken Rules match, which almost practically killed Matt Hardy.
When he hit his head on the concrete floor after jumping from a ladder.
But some people may be wondering, what is a
Elite deletion match?
Yes, now, whilst we cannot give a definitive answer to that,
Our only assumption can be
that is essentially going to be exactly what an Ultimate Deletion match was in a different company.
we predict it'll probably be in a similar sort of way, but until Saturday comes round, we can only guess.
Going back to championships.
Yes. It's for a championship that you don't like very much.
Akira Shida will defend the AEW World Women's Toy Championship
Against the first transgender woman in professional wrestling, the Beast Nyla Rose, who will have Vicky Guerrero. Yes, you heard us right. Vicky Guerrero.
Excuse
in her
me.
corner. Copyright.
And not just that, this will be a rematch from Double or Nothing, in which Akira Shida defeated Nyla Rose to win the championship.
Do we see Nyla Rose making history to become a two-time AEW Women's World Toy Champion?
Possible, but I think it's not going to happen.
We'll see come Saturday. And on to our next match, which has some stipulations to it.
Yes. In a love-hate relationship that has been building on TV between the leader of the Inner Circle,
Le Champion, Le Demigod, Chris Jericho,
and everyone's favourite MJF, who has been looking to join the faction for a while. After going on a date with Chris Jericho, yes, you heard us right.
Yeah, yes.
And
what was the weirdest segments we've seen?
And what was essentially a presidential debate, but that's a whole different thing, this past week. It has now been announced that Chris Jericho will face MJF in a one-on-one match, and if MJF wins, he will be allowed to join the Inner Circle. Now, to me, this is writing on the wall all over it. We've seen this kind of storyline several times in various companies, and I think this is going to result in the entire Inner Circle turning on Chris Jericho, thus turning him face, and he's probably going to disappear off of TV for a while, and MJF will join the Inner Circle and become the new leader.
In the final match, we have freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy going one-on-one with John Silver of the Inner Circle. Of the Dark Order, sorry.
As I say, get it right.
Yeah.
So,
we can't really say much about this match, to be honest.
No, because there doesn't seem to be that much of a story behind it.
No, but I reckon Freshly Squeezed will win either way.
Well, they seem to be pushing him for at least a mid-card title. He's had a few shots against Cody for the TNT Championship. One led to a time limit draw, and then the previous one was a slightly controversial victory.
Ending, yeah.
Well, let's run through
the match card one more time.
The buy-in match / pre-show match. We'll see Serena defend the NWA Women's Championship against Allysin Kay.
On the main card, in the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament final, Hangman Adam Page will take on his former tag team partner, Kenny Omega. Winner of that match will become the number one contender to the AEW World title.
Cody will defend the TNT Championship against Darby Allin.
FTR of Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood will take on the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team titles, and if the Young Bucks lose, they will never challenge for the AEW World Tag Team titles again, and for FTR, Tony Blanchard is banned from ringside.
Jon Moxley defends the AEW World Championship against Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match.
Matt Hardy will take on Sammy Guevara in an Elite Deletion match.
Akira Shida will defend the AEW Women's Championship against Nyla Rose, who will be accompanied by Miss Vicky Guerrero.
Chris Jericho will take on MJF in a one-on-one match, and if MJF wins, he'll be allowed to join the Inner Circle.
And freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy takes on John Silver.
So that is the AEW Full Gear pre-show.
AEW Full Gear takes place this Saturday, the 7th of November, from Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida.
Asterisk at the time of this recording.
Join us next week where we shall bring you the results and overall reactions to Full Gear.
So until then, he's been
Rhys Jones and he's been
Sean Smith, and we will see you next week. Put it into Full Gear. Oh, God, I can't